On the evening of May 27th, 2017, we decided to take a walk through Tettingen and Butzdorf to see what was still remaining of the houses that were there back in 1945. So we started out at the Zerwasstraße, and that's at the north of Butzdorf, and basically we worked our way south, going through the Lindenstraße, and this is really some of the old buildings still standing in the Lindenstraße. Of course they are modernized, and some houses are newly built, but a thing like a barn like this, that is really one of the old buildings that was there back then. As you can see, there's a lot of open spaces between these houses. There's all kinds of small gardens, some orchards. So we're still in the Lindenstraße. We're working our way downhill. It's really going downhill. So there's really this gully between Tettingen and Butzdorf, and we're coming from Butzdorf now. We're coming from the north, walking to the south towards the church in Tettingen. And these are also old buildings in the Lindenstraße. Even these are from the period from the 1945 time, and so this is where you can see that the Lindenstraße meets up with the Wingertstraße, and in fact it's a street that, you know, the houses end after about 100 meters or so, and from there you take the road basically toward the Moselle River. But before you walk into the Wingertstraße, and here you can see that there's a little side street which has about 4 to 5 houses, and then it ends in a field. And then if you look to the end of the Wingertstraße, you can see that you basically drive out of Butzdorf, out of town, toward the Moselle River. So we turned back, and we basically walked back to the Lindenstraße, and of course you have to imagine that back in 1945 there weren't many houses between Tettingen and Butzdorf. So as we worked our way back up the Lindenstraße, we came at the halfway house at the Zerwasstraße. And back in 1945, this was a solitary group of houses, a couple of them standing really in between Tettingen and Butzdorf. And here you can see we're working our way south into Tettingen, alongside the Zerwasstraße. And towards the Lindenhof, which is on the Zerwasstraße. The street makes a bend to the right there, and this is where you meet the Birkenstraße, which basically runs up to the Kampholz Woods. So this is the part where the Zerwasstraße meets the Birkenstraße, and you can see a building here, and then we pan back to the Becherstraße, which goes all the way to Besch, and back again on the Zerwasstraße. So this is the Becherstraße again. it's going to the west. And here I'm standing at the crossroads of the Zerwarstraße and the Becherstraße. This is the Zerwarstraße looking toward the church. The tower was just obscured, but here it is. And then we're going further south. And this is about where the village ends. We're very near to the church now. This is across the street from the church. And there you can see the southern edge of the village. So at the church, this is the only plaque that has some war damage. Of course, the rest of the buildings, as you can see, they're all, restored back into their original shape, And here's the church. We're looking from the south into the village. As you can see, the road is going uphill a bit, and then beyond the houses at the end of the street, it is going down again towards Butzdorf. Now here you can see the small crossroads at the Butzdorfer Straße. This is the road that actually leads into Butzdorf, a sort of parallel road. And then there's this small courtyard with, again, a couple of houses that are basically built at a dead-end road. And if you come from the Zerwarstraße, you walk up into the Becherstraße, and then this small road is to your left. This is basically one of the blocks where the US troops that attacked Tettingen came into the village, and they basically occupied the houses on the Becherstraße and the Butzdorfer Straße. And this is where they saw Germans fleeing back to Butzdorf.
Not amused. Super mooi shot.
So if you follow the Becherstraße to the west, you would eventually pass the northernmost part of the Monkey Ranch Woods and drive all the way down to the Römerstraße back in Nenich. So there's a couple of houses that are apparently old, and then there's some newly built houses, and at the end of the Becherstraße there's a big construction company with some houses in a street called the Neustraße. It's also to the left of the Becherstraße, and it's basically in a piece of the Monkey Ranch Woods, which was removed after the war, and so this building company site was created, and the Neustraße with a couple of houses was also created. So it's about, the Neustraße has about 11 houses to the side of the Becherstraße, basically on the south side of the Becherstraße.
Kijk, en dan zou het ook kloppen met de tekening. Kijk, met het kaartje.
From the Becherstraße we turned around and worked our way back again to the Butzdorfer Straße, and from there we went back north again towards our Airbnb in Butzdorf. And this is also a street going back all the way to the north, back to the Servarstraße and to the Lindenstraße, basically into the open fields. So I hope you enjoyed this short video of Tettingen and Butzdorf. Keep supporting us, keep supporting the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center, and hope to see you soon.